Hi there, welcome to this lesson. This is an optional lesson, especially for those who already know what a programming language is or already have some background in computer programming. Without further ado, what is a programming language? The easiest way to answer this question is by answering another question. Why do we need a programming language in the first place? Well, we need a programming language to write instructions to computers. That's the bottom line. Computers are really powerful machines with immense compute capacity, but although being immensely powerful, they do not know how to do anything at all. Nothing. Computers need the human beings to write instructions, to do certain things, to crunch some numbers, to draw some color on the screen, etc. Everything has to be written as instructions for the computer. And this is really what it means to program, to write these instructions, to write an algorithm. What is an algorithm? It is just a sequential list of instructions that solve a task or a problem. Imagine that you had to teach someone to cook and prepare your favorite dish. The task is for your student to cook your favorite dish. To teach your student, you could do it in several different ways. We humans have an amazing capacity of expressing ourselves in different ways and using several senses. You could cook the dish as an example while verbalizing the instructions to your student. Or you could provide written instructions to your student as a form of a recipe. The recipe is an algorithm in our analogy. It is a sequence of instructions that solves our problem. For a computer, we have no other choice but to write these instructions using a programming language. The good news is that programming language is much easier than learning a human natural language, which has thousands of different words and concepts, irregular grammar, and so on. Speaking of human languages, learning and being comfortable in a foreign language can take years, but programming languages are generally easy and do not exceed the dozens of different keywords. One can be comfortable in a programming language in months or weeks, depending on one's experience. There are thousands of programming languages and different types of programming languages. What is important to know is that when you learn the general concepts of a programming language in a specific programming language like JavaScript, then you can easily learn another programming language since most of these concepts are shared between programming languages. Let us have an overview. What are the building blocks of a computer program or an algorithm? So basically, the building blocks of any algorithm are expressions. These expressions can be arithmetic expressions, logical expressions, and so on. These expressions are composed of operators and operands, or with certain keywords. With these expressions, we can build statements or instructions, and in turn, with these instructions, we can build a sequence of instructions that will perform the desired task or solve our problem, which is what we call an algorithm or computer program. This is what we call programming, the breaking down of a problem into smaller parts and then providing a sequence of instructions to solve each part. On the other hand, programming languages provide with the necessary tools to encode such algorithms. Programming languages allow this by defining a set of operators and keywords that can be used in a specific syntax to express all the needed instructions, which we call statements. Syntax is like the grammar of our natural languages. It is a rigid structure that defines how to express instructions. The process of writing an algorithm in a specific programming language is called coding, and the written program is called the source code. Now let's address the elephant in the room. What makes JavaScript a programming language rather than HTML or CSS? Although we refer to JavaScript scripts and HTML documents as code, there is a vast difference between them. JavaScript allows us to model and write algorithms to solve any computational problem. JavaScript provides us with the needed tools to express the sequence of instructions that solves any task. On the other hand, HTML code is only able to describe the structure of a web page, like headings, paragraphs, buttons, etc. With HTML, we cannot express a sequence of instructions that solves a generic computational task. JavaScript is a general-purpose programming language that was created for the web browser, but it is so generic that we can use it to build server-side logic, command line tools, and even games.